We've talked a couple of times in recent weeks about the roller coaster. It doesn't seem to even out. You're still on the Big Dipper at the moment, aren't you? Can you remember a time when you've had back-to-back 3-3 draws?
No, can't. Same outcome but different emotions. The only thing I've got to take away from it is that for 1.5 games of football we've been outstanding, but for a 5-minute spell in that in the second half against Portsmouth. You don't have that many shots. I mean, I think you look at teams who would be fancied this season. Doncaster, Portsmouth and Sunderland would definitely come into that equation, and I think it's something like 67 shots we've had against the three of them, which tells you a lot about how we're playing, and the confidence our lads have got, and just pity we can't convert more of the chances that we're making. And I think that's always the holy grail for managers, that you score with every chance you get. You'd be more ruthless, take a higher proportion, you've got a chance of being successful.
You spoke after the game about how proud you are of the effort that they've put in throughout the season, not just in the last couple of games. Is this going to be an education for them into those small things that they need to do to go the next step?
Well, the overriding factor from this season is that the players have got to learn that you can't switch off at any moment in any game, and it doesn't matter where the ball is, what you're doing. You could give a throw away that can lead to a goal, you could lose a man, you could lose the ball in the opposition's half that could lead to them breaking on you. So every minute as a footballer you've got to be at it, and the successful teams are.
How do you change that, improve that?
Keep drilling it home to them, keep trying to educate them with analysis, what you do on the training ground. We look at the videos and see certain situations that they can look to give themselves little triggers to help them keep switched on. And that's an ongoing process of football. I think if you, as a sports coach or a sports manager or whatever you want to call it, if you could guarantee players to be switched on all the time, I think you'd be probably a billionaire, not a millionaire. You'd be a billionaire.
Is that one of the most difficult things, that it's not just 11 individuals, because you've got substitutes and a group of players, a squad of players? Is that something that is hard to deal with because every one of those individuals is different?
Well, you're the sum of all parts, aren't you? And sometimes as a team you become stronger. Then you can maybe have the best player in the world, but he can't play on his own. And you could even have the best 3 players in the world, but if 7 players are continually letting them down, they don't win many games. And I think that's why you've seen lots of people throw lots of money at football clubs and fail, because they haven't managed to assemble a team. It's difficult. It's an ongoing process that you're always trying to modify and get right, and it's ever evolving. And we think we're a little bit stronger than what we were last year, which has got to be, well, maybe quite a bit stronger. So that's got to be a step in the right direction. Hopefully we can continue that progress next season.
Given the circumstances, the COVID and the social distancing and the behind closed doors and all those other factors, schedule as well, has this season been a pleasant surprise to be 2 games left and only be out of the contention for the playoffs now?
No, it's not a pleasant surprise. I'm never surprised. We always aim high. I just really think that we've missed a marvellous opportunity, because this year there's been no standout teams. The fact that we've beat both teams who are likely to go up automatic is frustrating. There was no standout team this year. There was no real poor team either. So anybody could get a string of runs, a string of performances together. And I actually had this conversation with you about January. I said we've just got to avoid having an horrendous run. And then lo and behold, we did go on an horrendous run, and that coincided with a lot of injuries and quite a lot of bad luck. And truth be known, the Ipswich game did a lot of damage to us psychologically and physically, and it's been hard to recover from that.
What have you learned from this season?
that you're capable of doing good things if you apply yourself. You know, don't settle for being happy to be in League One. You know, if you're going to be in a league, try and contend to win it. And I've always been like that, but I've learned that possibly that wasn't the case last couple of years. But I've learned that we can be equals in this league. We can be as good as anybody in this league, and there's no reason why we can't go up next year.
Do you and your staff and your players and the club as a whole kind of feel like you belong at this level? Well,
looking at the way we've played the last 2 games, 1.5 games, we probably belong at a level higher. But you know, I stand by what I said during the night. They often say that it's a much used phrase in football, the league table doesn't lie, but I think it has this season. You know, and there's teams down the bottom who shouldn't be at the bottom. You know, and you look at Burton's form since Jimmy Floyd's gone there, and they'd probably be top 3, wouldn't it? Top 4. Rochdale's form as of late. So, you know, there's teams who they must be scratching their heads thinking what went wrong. And we've just got to learn from this season that if we can get a little bit more, not so much organised, but a little bit more focused throughout games, we can achieve a lot.
As far as the last 2 games are concerned and the run into the end of the season, there will be, I'm sure, Charlton fans and Portsmouth fans and fans of other teams up there in the playoff mix. Accrington have got nothing to play for. What would you say to them?
Don't underestimate us, or underestimate us at your peril. You know, when we've got quite a few young lads, maybe the pressure to win games week in, week out has been tough to take. Shackles are off us now. You've seen the way we played in the second half during the night. We'd be saying this against anybody.
Do you think that mindset has changed a little bit? Jimmy Bell was telling me at the start of the week that you've been doing a bit less analysis on the opposition and a bit more on your own players and your own strengths. Has that been a quite conscious decision? Yeah,
we decided to concentrate more on us. You know, we do. I still believe that analysis of the opposition is quite important, and get the lads to know the way we feel we can beat them and what they're trying to beat. But over the last couple of weeks, I think we had to start focusing on ourselves. We had to focus more on what we were going to do in both ends of the pitch, and I think that's it's paid off this last couple of weeks.
What have you made of Charlton? Obviously the managerial change has clearly had an impact on that.
Well, Jayden Stockley's made a big impact going there, and we know Jayden Stents, and you know, they're a big club and they've got good players, and if they get it right they can be a handful for anybody. But I don't think they're looking forward to coming to our place, that's for sure.
You mentioned Jayden Stockley there. You've had a lot of loan players from big clubs in your time. How much do you keep track of them, kind of further down the line in their career?
Yeah, you know, and I speak to most of them. Jayden, just great lad. I've tried to sign him a couple of times unsuccessfully since then. But you know what you're getting off him. And you know, he's still got a long or a decent career ahead of himself, and he can, you know, I know he had the move to Preston and, you know, for whatever reason that hasn't worked out for him, but you know, he's still a very, very talented player, certainly at this level.
With your own team selection, you mentioned young players. Is there any temptation now with kind of 180 minutes left to blood one or two?
There is, but if you think about the integrity of the game and the importance of the 2 games that we're playing to other teams as well, you know, I think that'd be dramatically unfair, but it would be nice to see somebody in the lads on the pitch at some point.
And Nigel Adkins has been doing motivational videos from before he got the job and then after he's got the job. Is there a place for Coley's motivational videos somewhere on the internet?
Is that where you walk around Plymouth? I seen one when he was going around Plymouth. I don't know if that was motivational. I just thought he was having a day out. No, I couldn't be doing that, mate.